Alright, you bastards, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today I'm going to talk about a bamboo bow. And we're not going to talk about a bamboo bow only, but more about the concept of improvised bows for archery. And before we go to start to talk about that, if you're interested in detective stories, there will be a link to my books. The first one and the second one, called Bloody Crosses. Second one, The Jason Murders. The link will be in the description, so if you're interested, take a look, it's in Dutch. So, I wanted to make a bow of my own in the most cheapest way that I got. And the reason why is because sometimes you need to improvise things because they are not available during baguette scenario, SHTF scenario, or other scenarios, whatever, and then you need to make things your own. And I thought to myself, can I make a bow with things that I got? So, what did I do? I took one of those bamboos, one of those bamboo sticks that you use in the garden to keep your tomatoes and beans stakes up high. I took two of them. I taped them together at certain intervals with some tape that I had. At the end side, between the two bamboos, I put some mason line. Why did I use some mason line? Because mason line is a little bit more elastic, so to say, but still strong enough to be able to withstand the power of the curve. And yeah, it's just very simple. It's just a regular bow, and you can use them. I also have here my homemade arrows with just a shaft, some duct tape, feathers, and blade as of tape from a box cutter. So yeah, with this you have now an improvised weapon that you can use for either hunting small game and for self-defense. Because when shit hit a fan or there's a bug out scenario, yeah, a ranged weapon can be very handy, because when order falls away, police is not available, or they are less, or they are overworked, or there's too much for them to do, yeah, then the thugs come out, and usually thugs are the ones who use something like bats or knives, whatever. Yeah, of course, a person against a gun, yeah, you cannot much do that about them. But at least you will have a ranged weapon that you can at least threaten the person to keep their distance, or incapacitate them at least. And yeah, the fear factor, psychological factor, and to be honest, is very effective. Because I took this bow with a friend of mine that I sometimes go doing archery with, and it is a person who is really into archery. He has the whole 9 yards, like compound bow, these specialized recurve bows with light ballistic materials, whatever it is. And yeah, I always show up with my English longbow, which is very simplistic. And yeah, of course, such compound bows and such are masterpieces of work. They are the best tools you can get. You can hit from 100 meters away a target the size of the triangle of a person. Yeah, of course they are better for hunting and for self-defense, but my thought process is always, they take maintenance. There are too many mechanical parts that can go wrong, and during shit hit the fan, materials, professional smiths and workers are not available. So yeah, that's something that always annoys me, and that's why I prefer our English longbow. So I made a longbow made from bamboo, and this person, yeah, of course, he laughed because it is not that accurate. And to be honest, you will not hit someone 50 meters away accurate, of course. But my point is that this will force you to be more skillful, to adapt, to learn more skills, to learn more skills instead of being long away for some game, shoot and hit a target the size of a rabbit, so to say. No, with this you will have to sneak. You have to be more stealthy, sneak around, camouflage, use your whole body to not to be seen, learn about the game, about smells, approaching them, hunting them, the hunting skills, so to say, and then you will learn more. You get, and my prepper philosophy is all that: do more with less and hone those skills. So yeah, it will, like I said, this will not be the best weapon. So you have to get close to take an accurate shot. But what another criticism of this friend said was, with a bow like this, it will not have enough power to kill game, or even in self-defense to kill a person. But if you look into history, arrows, archerymen, they are not always deadly. In case, most of the times it's used to incapacitate game or human targets, so to say. So yeah, and most people died because they took the archerymen put their arrows inside of the ground, or they shot through, they hit someone, and wherever it landed, the wound got infected, or they got infected because of surgical procedures that they were not the most hygienic ever. So yeah, that's the reason why most people who got hit with arrows were dying, but later on, so after they got wounded. So I said, I always say a bow is not to kill, not always to kill. Of course, if you got one of those professional bows, of course that's a whole different story. You can aim for something like at the heart. You got specialized arrows with hunting blades on top of them to cut arteries. Of course, then they will bleed out very fast. But bleed out means there are still time left to attack you in their last stand, so to say. So that's another thing, and I will show you in a minute how effective this can be in accuracy on a target and how deep it can penetrate something that is the density of a human, so to say. So we'll show that in a minute, but this is just to show you what you can do at home with minimalistic materials. And another thing is, whenever there is a shitty defense scenario, you want your neighborhood to be protected. So if there are one or two people with modern art bows, yeah, there's only two people who have weapon then. But imagine if you can improvise a whole shitload of improvised bows and improvised arrows, so to say, then it can be a game changer in tactics for protection of your neighborhood in a shitty defense scenario. Because now you got perhaps even 20 to 30 people in your neighborhood who are able to have bows. And even if they are not accurate, if you are a gang of thugs, and here in Belgium, guns are very rare, so to say. So most thugs will be using something like rely either on numbers, or they rely on clubs or knives and that kind of weapons. So if you have 30 people with arrows and bows, yeah, that is a real game changer to protect your neighborhoods in a shit hit defense scenario till you get better weapons. So yeah, you can arm more people with that, and you can take advantage of numbers and tactics, because tactics also change because now you got a ranged weapon. And like I said, it will not be the best, but in most cases it will be more psychological. You can create distance, and it can be used by people who are not fit enough to do melee weapons. So even if it's an older person, that is not a bow like for example with my English longbow. You need to be trained to pull it with your shoulder, but with this I will show you, I can just pull it full with this. And this will come to my demonstration right now after within a few seconds on how effective it can be if it's on a non-armored target, so to say. So we will show you that now. Alright, now we're going to show you how accurate and effective this weapon can be against a human target. So we will take one shot at Mr. Putin above, and one shot as much as possible in the middle of my secondary target. We're going to use a regular fiberglass arrow, and we're going to use one of my improvised arrows with a box cutter kind of knife in front of it. So let's see, the target is about distance is 15 meters away, which is a good uh, combat range, so to say, especially as an improvised one. So, yeah, like I said, and either we live here in Belgium, we live on very enclosed quarters, so to say. So you will not have, unless you live on the countryside, you will not have fields that are miles long like here. But if you live in cities, rural towns, even then you will be, when there is a combat range, it will be very close. So let's see how effective this can be. Let's fire this one into Mr. Putin. Oh. And now we're going to shoot a secondary target. Well, let's see. To be honest, I missed Mr. Putin, but it is, and my secondary target was a little bit low, but now that I got my range, as you can see, even for an improvised bow, it is very deep actually. And let's see how deep this one went. Oh. Even with a broad arrowhead like this, it went this deep inside of the target. So let's try another one, because my sensei always says the first one is always free. So let's try second time. As you can see, it is not the most accurate one, but it's still very effective if it was on an unarmored target. So let's change it up. Let's shoot this one, the fiber one, at Mr. Putin. Well, that was not a good one. Oh, I see. I think I got the alignment was wrong, so I know what I was wrong, because as you can see, my bow was not, I had it upside down and the alignment was on this part. So let's try it again. Yeah, Mr. Putin it seems protected, but this one went in the middle, but a little bit higher. So let's try again. On the good side of the bow. My apologies. All right, Mr. Putin again. And now the secondary target. Yet again. Here we go. That seems much better. As you can see, the alignment is very much different if you put it upside down. So even then, when it's improvised, you need to watch out for these. So yeah, I hit Mr. Putin in the head, even though it's a side, but it's a little bit closer than earlier. And now my secondary target is much better. So yet again, very deep. Let's see for the second one. Still this kind of depth. So even though it's very improvised, it has still a lot of power inside of it. I think I'm going to make another bow, but with triple bamboo, to see if I can get even more power inside of it and get more alignment with the knots going down. But yet again, as you can see, it is a force to reckon with, and for all people who say that that will do nothing to a person, try to stand here and get hit by it. It will not be, you will not be killed, but it will not be a fun day, is what I'm trying to say. And that is the point of this video. Try to get it's about learning skills. It's about yeah, learning skills, how to use those skills, learn to do more with less, and about reality. And what we learned here today is you don't need to have sports or military grade equipment to be dangerous, is what I'm trying to say. And that is something that you as a prepper can never underestimate. Even if you even if other people have improvised weapons, never underestimate them. People even think about this. People run away from a bee. A bee is such a tiny insect with a small stinger, and people run away from it. So that is bigger than a stinger. So think about that as a philosophical thought, so to say. So I'm going to practice a little bit more with my new made bow. So like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and look at the books in my description to the links, and like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and see you next video. Cheers.